Hello, everyone. First of all, yes, I am taller. I'm just in a regular kitchen chair. My desk chair totally went gone. This is very uncomfortable. It's too high. I, I can't just move. It's just annoying, and I don't have the money till next month to even think about getting even a secondhand one. Seriously. So anyway, listen. The reason, the only reason I'm doing this particular video before I see if I can find something more comfortable to sit on. It needs to be shorter, lower, but I'm gonna put a link in the description. I'm in a thing called it's a Face of Horror contest that they do every Halloween, every autumn. It's actually a fundraiser for Starlight Children. You'll see when you click the link. It's but you can do one free vote every 24 hours. It could be for anybody, but I would appreciate it if you do it for me. I will write in the description why I'm doing it. Um, but I'm also will tell you one of my twin sons 3 years ago uh, ran ahead unexpectedly. He and his twin were perfectly healthy. It was like 6 weeks before their 16th birthday. Um, since the age of 7, they've been living with their dad across country, and he's had a haunted house. I mean, as a business, and that twin was a beloved character, and as you can see, I'm still having a hard time with the grieving, but I'll get to see a lot of people and a lot of different things for the winter. And the one thing is, those are all very cool to be in Room Work magazine. Just a lot of very, very cool things. The Ecto with the Ghostbuster vehicle, and just Hodder to meet him, Kane Hodder. I mean, there's a lot, but there's also a $13,000 prize, and I'm low income. I don't even have a vehicle, but I want that. Yeah, I struggled seriously. SSI doesn't even come out to like a minimum wage full time job. I don't even get that much in a month. And minimum wage people are eligible for housing vouchers and EBT, same as I have. So if you think living on a minimum wage job is hard, even even with a housing voucher and food stamps, um, try doing it on SSI income. That's less. But you don't hear anybody talking about that. But that's not why I want to use it. Being is that he was living, and the dad is still living across country. Obviously, the the grave and everything else is there. But I live here in this state, and I would like to have something. I mean, obviously not a grave site, but something. A bench in. I'm in a garden apartment. I have a little area, maybe a bench in front of that, with his name and some writing. Something, or a chair that I can sit there. That's in great. Something I can put things near, and the rest of it, because obviously I'm not going to do anything that's $13,000. I mean, if you want to get an entire full size bench, it's like 1,300 or something, But the rest of it, I want to. What he passed from is called Brugada syndrome. One in every 20,000 or something like that has it uh, in America, worldwide type of thing. So it's rare. It's in one of the five rare heart uh, disorder uh, list, and I'm trying to keep on track with emotions and such going through. Um, we found out his twin has it too. Most people don't even get diagnosed until an event. An event meaning a heart attack or cardiac arrest. And most of them, the first one is the fatal one. They haven't had anybody live past the 40s, mid 40s with it. My Earth twin is now almost 19. To think that half his life has been lived is just not acceptable to me. It's not acceptable. Granted, his isn't as severe as his twin's was. But remember, his twin, when he was in junior high or middle school, depending on where you live, he played football. So you had to have physicals to some degree. Yes, they're not complete, but they had physicals, and it came up as an anomaly if it showed up at all. And just running track one day, I mean, within days of getting back into, in person school, managed not to get COVID, all of them. And running the track, warming up for the tryouts for track, which he would have gotten in, just collapsed. 6 days later, he was gone. Because that's Brugada. If you get any of the symptoms, usually they're discounted because they're one time, or I mean, it's something like passing out when you get too hot. Well, a lot of people do. It's not, unless you're doing it all the time, which a lot of them they don't. So there's a few other things that are like that. And I think a lot of people, it's usually meant, the whole thing is my son. And this is what makes me think that a lot more people, how SIDS is sudden infant death, they really don't know what happened, they just died. They either had a heart attack, or you hear a lot. We know what that is, right? But you hear a lot, and it's a lot of men. They went to sleep and they just never woke up. Well, Brugada usually starts showing itself between in their early 20s. Lifespan is, as far as they know, is mid 40s. The youngest one, and that was only one person, I think he was 9 when he had a heart thing, but it wasn't as severe as my son, my spirit son's, because he managed to live through it, and that's how they diagnosed it. My boys, I think, might be some of the youngest. They don't have any. Usually it's men. I told you, usually it's early 20s. Usually it's if you have some Asian, usually it's Asian descent is something that's been in the DNA somewhere. And as far as I know, there is none. Now, on their father's side, I'm not positive, but not that I know of. Also, it usually happens when they're sedentary, like watching TV or reading or sleeping. Mine was in full-on activity. Strenuous, you running track. Make that make sense. The only thing that does make sense is male. That's the only thing. Everything else was no. no, that's no. A fever that gets too high could trigger a heart attack, an arrhythmia. I mean, flying on an airplane, the Earth Twin can't do that. I mean, Even having a drink or two, don't risk it. Smoking a joint, they don't know. It's like, are you fucking joking me? No airplane. No, I mean, when he's old enough, when the heart stops growing, and that's usually early 20s, people think you're physically grown as an adult, physically and mentally, when you're 18, and you're not. It's usually your early 20s that everything stops growing. So he could have something it's basically like a pacemaker. It's implanted in the sternum behind, and um it, it it's kind of like an AED. Right now all he has implanted is a monitor. So if there's an unusual heart rhythm anywhere he is, his dad always has something with him that is reading it, and their surgeon, their doctor, and their surgeons both have for their patients. Um, so it's shown to everybody immediately if he has an incident or anything. So everybody is alerted. So anybody who's near him can go to him, and they know that to check on their patient. But he can't get doesn't do anything. Once the heart stops growing, you can have it implanted. If you're a candidate, you have to have enough fat, enough muscle, back, for it. And since you can't do exercise, he has to do workouts, but not like cardio. He has to do them slow. It's hard for him. Thank goodness the Earth Twin is not super athletically inclined. Spirit Twin was absolutely spirit. His spirit was in speed and in sport, in movement, and it would have been really, really hard for him to go through life not doing all the things that he loves. So, if there's a silver lining to your child running ahead far earlier than they should have. But this is why I'm doing this is the only reason why I'm even trying to win this contest. Because 10,000, just to even it out. I don't know how to start a foundation. We need to study this more. I've been hearing a lot, and that's what I started saying before. A lot of males passing. I've see it on Facebook. I see it in Helping Parents Heal. I see it on the news. His sister just he went to wake him up and he was passed. They don't know. He was 31 and they said it was a cardiac arrest. They're like, what? He never doesn't have anything. And I really do wonder if Brugada has become more prevalent than statistics say, and also more diverse than their current data of, I told you, of the at-risk, group. My boys break every single freaking almost one of those stat, and he's gone from it. So, and the other one's living with it. So, I think there's more people. I think a lot more research needs to be done. And the reason a lot of research isn't done for rarer things is because they can't throw all that money that they do get hard won, donated, for research. They need to concentrate on the things that's taking more people than just a few. Not that those people are more important. It's that there are a lot more. Are you going to throw $1 billion into research for something that's killing 5,000 people a year, or are you going to put it in that's that's killing maybe 100 people a year. I get it, but I think I think it's the culprit for a lot more. There's just too many. We don't know why. We just know he had a heart attack, but we don't know why. We don't see anything that caused it. So, or they're far too young, or they always ate healthy, or, this, that, the other thing. And they never had any abnormal tests or anything like that. I think it's a lot more prevalent. I got itchy nose. um, I think it's more prevalent, and this is why I think research needs to be done. But somebody needs to start something, and get a little bit of a platform, and maybe 10,000 will be something that will get people to start saying, okay, wait, let me hear. What do you have to say? And just tell them what you know, do I have something here? Because it keeps bugging my gut that there's something wrong. It's more common, or it's becoming more common, or maybe something has caused it, and so more people are getting it. It's like the autism. People were like that all along. It's just that people are on the downs when that started being well known. It just, people had it all along. It just, they were kind of like not in history. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I want to do if I win that money. So I'm just asking to click the link, save it for me until the contest is over, and just once a day if possible, pop a vote off to me so I can try to get some recognition on the Brugada issue and the issue of so many people between the 20 and 40s that are just dying in their sleep. We don't know why. No, 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 no. Right now, they say there's no cure for Brugada. There's nothing they can do to, more. But if you had more research, maybe you would have something that's better at way of recognizing, diagnosing it. And is it maybe, what all these, or at least some of what these people, are the statistics wrong? I just feel like I can't rest. My head can't rest until we find this out. So, and maybe I'm just a crazy, grieving mom grasping at anything to keep her other twin around as long as possible. Maybe. But I don't think so. So, I think they can figure out what's happening, and I think it's happening to more people than they think it is. It's just not being reported as suspicious. It's just being reported as cardiac. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not getting sorted into certain statistical surveys, polls or whatever. It's not being considered in that. And I think it needs to be. Like I said, I could be wrong. That is why I am so about pushing this contest. That's the whole reason. I don't want any more parents to be blindsided, completely blindsided. You don't get it. These are healthy kids. Rarely had colds and flus and stuff, So, yeah. For my own mom peace of mind, but maybe we can save some others. That's why. So I'm gonna put the link down, and I'd appreciate hitting me up. It's gonna be running. I think there's 3 more rounds or something like that. 3 more, whatever. But yeah, just hang in there with me on it. Thanks, guys. I know I got emotional, but that's what happens when I talk about my twins. I love them, no matter where they are, no matter what plane of existence they are on. They're always like right here, right here. He was such a beautiful human, physically and emotion and just spirit wise. So have a great weekend, guys. Give me a vote.